allowing the hair to dry. A lot of people come out here and say, oh, I moisturize my hair, you know, every 4 days or every week. Once it's dry, I go ahead and moisturize. I always say to people, do not moisturize your hair when it's dry. A lot of us struggle with tangled hair, myself included, or just hair that tangles easily, quickly, etc. I've had a lot of questions around this, so I thought I'll quickly do this video and discuss with you guys some of my top reasons for tangles, or 10 things really that will cause or promote tangles in your hair and that must be avoided. The first one is mixing up or just going like that when you're washing your hair. If this is your hair, you want to wash the hair like that, shampoo the hair like that. Always downward stroking motions. You don't go like that. You don't do this. Never, ever, ever, ever do that. The hair is going to be a tangled mess. I learned this very early on in my natural hair journey and I've never looked back. Obviously, you can't do this in every situation, but try not to do that. Whatever you do, if you're going to do the scalp, you just go like that, but then the rest of the hair gets a downward stroke or squeezing, that kind of thing. But you want to just encourage the weight of the water really to kind of help the curls align and not to tangle up on themselves. Wet detangling your hair from the roots. Don't grab your comb from here and try to pull like detangle your hair like that. All the tangles from there are going to get stuck somewhere in the middle. It's going to tangle up. You want to always start from the ends up to the roots. This is different for dry detangling, particularly if you're dry detangling with your fingers, as in separating the hair. You can start from the roots because you're actually just separating the whole piece of hair. So it's not like you're forcing the tangles down. You're sort of kind of separating the hair with dry detangling. So with dry detangling, you can kind of go from the roots to the ends, but wet detangling, always start at the ends. Do not sleep with your loose hair, your twist out, your braid out, etc. with a bonnet on. Bonnets are good, it'll keep moisture in, etc., but they're not great at preserving the style or preventing tangles and matting. So I always say, if you have a loose style, I don't know, put it up in a bun or something, or I don't know, tie a bun at the back or at the top, or maybe just have it loose, like slip on a silk pillowcase instead of a bonnet, because the bonnet just shrinks the hair, kind of like groups the hair and just encourages tangles. So yeah. Allowing the hair to dry. A lot of people come out here and say, oh, I moisturize my hair, you know, every 4 days or every week. Once it's dry, I go ahead and moisturize. I always say to people, do not moisturize your hair when it's dry. Moisturize your hair before it gets dry. Once it gets dry, it's a bit late. Moisture is gone and dryness promotes tangles. So keep moisturized, hydrated, soft hair at all times. Moisture train your hair. I've done a video about that. Check it out. Staying for long periods without detangling. Look, you guys have seen the videos. I did a braiding challenge, stayed with it for like 3 months or something like that. It was a tangled mess when I went to unravel my hair. So if you keep your hair for longer, there's more shed hairs, there's more tangles, especially if you're washing, conditioning your hair during that time. Expect the tangles. So if you want less tangles, detangle your hair a little more regularly, or at least keep your hair in a position that discourages tangles, which can vary from person to person. But the best way to kind of get lots of tangles is to keep it for long periods of time, because now you're dealing with shrinkage and a ton of shed hair that just wants to wrap around the hair that's still attached to your scalp. So wash and goes. In my experience, wash and goes cause so many tangles. My hair shrunk to this. Okay, my bra strap length hair shrunk to this with wash and goes. And I know there's stretching methods, banding, heat, that you can use to kind of stretch the hair. That was a bit too hectic for me, so I just did the wash and go and let the hair be. Even if I was washing my hair every week, the hair was tangled, okay? I'm just gonna come out and say that. And this will be particularly the case if you didn't do the wash and go well, which I probably wasn't, okay? And also if you go longer than your gel's capacity or longevity span, so to speak. So if the gel says it kind of lasts 3 days or 4 days, you kind of need to redo the style at that point. Otherwise the tangles just become crazy, because shrinkage and tangles are best friends. Shed hair, I've already spoken about this, but in general, just remove shed hairs. Shed hairs are one of the biggest culprits when it comes to tangles. The hair might like tangle up at the roots, for example, but if there's shed hair, especially if you've got long hair, the tangles are going to be crazy. So always aim to remove shed hairs. No matter how little the shed hair is, it's okay. It will make a difference, especially if it's a long-term protective style. Just remove the shed hairs. It's going to benefit you. Washing your hair loose. You see here a lot on YouTube, people just running water through their hair and hang time, etc. I do it sometimes, but I do it with a vision of wanting to put my hair in some kind of section, some kind of twist, some kind of bantu knot as I wash it, okay? If you just wash all of your hair, like shampoo, condition, as in do the entire wash day with loose hair, in my experience, that causes tangles. So I do it in sections. I do it in a rotating motion where I do this part, and then I do this part, and I do the other part, and I'm, stroking the hair downward. Not really just allowing the hair to shrink, okay? So yeah, for me, washing my hair as a whole can really overwhelm me. So sections are a winner for many reasons. Rough towel drying. Drying your hair like that, don't do that. It's the same thing with the bonnet, same thing with the washing. Same motion, it's gonna encourage tangles. So you wanna wring the hair, you wanna squeeze the hair with a towel on top. Lastly, it's damaged ends. If you've got lots of single strand knots, lots of thinning ends or split ends, etc., it's really gonna cause the hair to tangle up at the ends. So yeah, try and keep your ends clean, which will encourage less tangles and an easier detangling session for yourself. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, found some helpful tips to keep your hair as tangle-free as possible, though it's textured, and I hope you're enjoying your natural hair journey. Until next time, it's Quality Diaries. Bye.